Hey, it's India with Bags and Lifestyle. Thank you so much for watching this video. It is time for our trending in fashion, what's happening, fashion news video for June. I'm sorry, I already know I did not do one for May. Apologies. I have added extra topics to this video to make up for it. So we got to go ahead and get to it because we have a lot to go over. So let's go ahead. So first up is on the list is not really a fashion related. Well, it's related to fashion, and you'll hear why. More about appearance. But anyway, so just housekeeping here. All of the links to the articles that I read, TikTok videos that I am going to mention, link down below. Any other creator, whatever, their link will be down below. So make sure you hit that more box, expand it out, check out all the details there. And I encourage you to read the articles because obviously I'm paraphrasing. You may gather something else from it, and it's just very helpful to see the information for yourself. I got a question for you. Now, do you feel it is right for a company to judge someone solely based off of something minor as whether they wear makeup or not? Let me know in the comments down below. Sound it off. Also, if you're a person who you wear makeup to work, or are there situations where you wear makeup and you don't? I'm not a big makeup person, so this one resonated with me a whole lot. Let me just give you a quick summary of the situation. So there was a woman. She started off as her career as a recruiter, and then she moved into a management role, obviously. So she's doing her job right? She's a manager. Then at some point, she decided to apply for a VP position. Now, I'm not going to give you all the details because I really want you to read the article, and also watch her video. She has, I think, 3 TikTok videos, so make sure you check those out. And basically, she interviewed for the job. Things went well. She got an email back saying that she was not the candidate that they were looking for. They were going to move on to someone else. And she asked for feedback, which is a good tip that you should ask for feedback when you do get rejected so you can see how you improve. And the person basically said she did not get hired because she did not put enough into her appearance. Now, I watched this lady's video, and she mentioned that she blew her hair out. So basically it was straight. She had on earrings, she had on a nice blouse and a jacket during her interview. So the only thing she could come from with that statement was, I didn't wear makeup. And that seems very extreme and very unfair. And so I was very shocked by this because something minor as makeup is, and unfortunately, because of appearance is basically subjective. Like, that depends on whoever's looking at you at that time. And I get she was, and they said for the level of the role, she was applying for a VP role. So they felt like she needed enough effort. And there was a couple reasons why it triggered for me. One, I am not a makeup person. I I have a lot of pride in my skin. I think it looks great. I don't think that I need makeup. Obviously, makeup, it helps enhance your beauty, but just overall, I'm just not a makeup person. So I'm not even starting this channel. That was one of the things that I thought I was going to be doing. I said, well, I would watch other YouTubers, and the ones that I was watching, they wore makeup. And I thought, am I going to need to wear makeup to do YouTube videos? And I thought, if I have to do that, which would be something that is completely not me, that's not how you see me at the store. That's not how you see me when I go out with my friends. So if I don't do it then, I'm not going to put the effort in of putting on makeup just to get somebody to hopefully watch my video. And that's not what's natural to me. The other reason that it triggered me, and it resonated with me, is what I should say, is because whoever she interviewed with, she did not meet their standard of what seemed acceptable. But everything I described to you, and if you look at her, there was nothing wrong with her appearance at all, minus makeup. And for someone who does not look like what a lot of people would consider, I would say, like, I won't even say a lot of people, some people do not consider what that standard of beauty is. That is very unfair because you already start off behind the 8 ball. And for that company to do that seems like she may have, dodged another issue coming later if they judged her solely for that reason. But let me know what your thoughts are. Read the article, throw your comments down below. I would love to get your opinion on that topic. Okay, moving on. We are going to talk about. Okay, sorry, I couldn't read it. I can't read my handwriting, guys. Sales returns. Okay, there was another lady. She purchased something from Saks Fifth Avenue, and she basically purchased a Dolce and Gabbana ashtray. What she got when she got home, or when it arrived to her, was a can of tuna. So luckily enough, she was able to. The customer service at Saks Fifth Avenue worked with her, and she got the situation rectified. But the reason I thought about this one and wanted to share it is because as consumers, with us selling, not selling, buying things online, they're coming to our homes or wherever we're picking them up from, like the fact that this can happen is definitely something where you're trusting your employees to do the right thing. Now, it could have been that this item was returned and then somebody was shady and didn't actually return the item. So basically, they stole it. Or it could be whoever is in the packaging department decided to do a once over and steal the item and send out something else. You just never know. But this also made me think about the Rebag scenario where She's the Posh had several videos where she's talked about this, where she got an empty box. And then there was another YouTuber, I don't remember her name off the top of my head, but I also shared her video and she had issues. And so just the fact that companies do need to make sure that they have a tighter process. It's not foolproof. People are people. People are going to find ways to do things. So it's not like this won't ever happen, but it is a reminder to all of us as consumers to make sure we're protecting ourselves and make sure you have documentation, because you're at the mercy of whoever you're speaking to at the end of the day on whether they're going to objectively look at this situation and say, okay, well, this all makes sense. Yes, we should return them their money. Or if they're a repeat offender and they are just trying to skirt the system, you just never know. And then also on the other side of the argument is going to be for companies to have a much tighter process with returns, shipping, all of those things, because you end up losing money because of the scenario, whether it was a mistake or whether somebody intentionally did something like this or something similar to this. Now, I think someone else had mentioned that they had, when they commented on her video, her TikTok video, which the article talked about this, where either that person or someone else had mentioned, oh, a similar thing happened to me. But they had also had some other purchases with Saks Fifth Avenue and had a great experience. And obviously this one turned out well too. So, it's not just to pick on Saks Fifth Avenue, it's everybody who does online shipments. I remember I got a shipment in the mail from Amazon, and in there somebody had replaced my item with a bunch of, I don't think I can say this word on YouTube, but it was track, you'll see it, pum pum cards to basically tell you to like call this number if you need help. And I guess they figured, that would wait out. I don't even remember what I bought, but I got it was a camera lens that I had purchased, and they swapped it out. Now, luckily I got my money back, but this happens all the time. It doesn't matter what store, how high end it is, or how affordable it may be. So it's just a reminder to all of us to make sure you're protecting yourself and you have the proof to make sure if something goes wrong in that process, you have a way to protect yourself. And then also companies to do some type of tighter regulations, periodic audits, or something like that to make sure that consumers are protected. Okay, so last year, Coach, which is owned by Tapestry, Coach is made up of Kate Spade, Coach. I was trying to avoid saying the name again, but basically, they purchased Capri Holdings. So Capri Holdings actually is, I'm sorry, Capri Holdings owns Michael Kors, Versace, and Juicy Couture. Child, I got JC in Juicy Couture. That's the 2000s for you. It was they own Jimmy Choo. Oh my gosh! So basically, an enormous kind of American company merger, even though Versace's not an American company, but and Jimmy Choo is not either. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. And what they were speculating in the Forbes article was the fact that they think they are trying to find an avenue to compete with LVMH, which LVMH owns. Well, Versace and Jimmy Choo. I have Juicy Couture stuck in my head now for some reason. But both of those companies are more kind of on par with, as far as like luxury status, that some of the companies that are owned by LVMH. Whereas your Michael Kors, even though Michael Kors has a collection line that is higher end, but MK by Michael Kors, your Coach, your Kate Spade are kind of more like mid-tier luxury brands. Anyway, so all that to say, that's what they were speculating. They also own Stuart Weitzman too, but the U.S. government, the FTC, which is the Federal Trade Commission, has made some steps into trying to block this conglomerate, this acquisition from happening. So we'll have to see what happens with that. I thought that it was interesting that one of the articles I read mentioned that the reason that the FTC was going after them was because of wage protections. They would have an estimated either, I think, 30,000 employees with this acquisition. And they wanted to make sure that one of the things that they were focusing on was protecting wage benefits, employee benefits, those type of things. When they're all owned by one company, then everything funnels up to the top. One decision is made and it impacts everybody versus you having competition with going from one company to the next when there's different owners involved. So we'll have to see what happens with that. Very interesting. Let me know your thoughts down below. Did you know about this from last year? And what were your initial thoughts then? Okay. Next up on the list is going to be outlet malls. So, outlet malls, luxury outlet malls are on the rise. According to this article, pretty much the divide is really real. So, you have some companies, and when I mean that, I mean like the mindset of some companies with others versus whether there should be a luxury outlet store or everything should just never go on sale. That type of framework. And when you think about companies that are very much against outlets, it would be LV. It would also be Hermes, like companies like that. Places where you never see things going on sale. Places where they even control their stores. They don't sell through another authorized retailer. They control everything. I think they call that vertical. Let me know, you business majors. I think that's what they call that, vertical something. But anyway, but other brands like what you would see at a luxury outlet would be brands like your Prada, Gucci, Ferragamo. I even saw a Celine, some other brands too, All Saints, just some other, definitely a lot of other brands that kind of think a little bit differently from that. And so the article that I read kind of talked about, first off, let me give you the numbers. So since 2021, according to the article that I read, luxury outlet sales have increased by 35%, the sales. And so it did dive into a little bit of the Pandanana was happening, Pandanisha is what I usually call it, was happening, and people, a lot of stores you couldn't go inside the store. There were several stores that did not have online presence, so the outlets was where you had to go. But then also just like kind of just it trickling down to the outlets basically for different seasons, things like that. And they found that one of the things that they mentioned was Tanger. So Tanger does own a lot of outlets around at least the United States. I'm not sure about outside the United States, but let me know. I know Bristol Village, I think, is an outlet from a few YouTubers that I watch. They will go there and shop. No, it's by Castor Village. I'm so sorry, guys. But let me know, like, who owns those outlets. I would like to know that information. Or if you don't live in the UK and you live somewhere else, what type of outlet companies do you see owning those pieces? But in the United States, Tanger is a big holder of a lot of outlets in the US mainland. What they have found is to make it more of an experience. So rather than just having it be a place in the middle of nowhere and all you can do is shop, like that's all the square footage is, they do something so that way it's more interesting by adding more interesting restaurants, higher end restaurants, things like that. But then also having spaces for kids so that way you have something for all ages, like nice coffee shops, like just kind of making it a destination shopping place versus I'm coming here to get $10 socks for 50 cents, that type of feel. And so they create a lifestyle environment is what they were saying. So that way it appeals to the entire family, which totally makes sense, right? If your kids are still entertained, then you can go and shop a little bit longer. Makes sense. They make more money that way. So they were talking about the benefits is a way as far as like the benefits to luxury brands, because there is this mixed feeling. There's a fine line you have to tote where you don't feel like, oh, let me wait because I can get this item for 50% off in 8 more months or 6 more months. And then that means that I won't splurge and go into the store and buy anything. So obviously there's a fine line between it. But they were also mentioning that the benefits of it is to introduce a customer to your brand. This is a good way to do it because let's say they can't afford the higher priced item or they don't live near a boutique or something like that, then this is a way for them to be introduced to your brand and through a discounted way, of course, and then you end up having that brand loyalty. They also talk about kind of age ranges where people are in life, and if you capture them when they don't make as much money and they're loyal, then they will start to add you on more and more as they make more money, which makes sense. And also the other thing of it is they said it's another way for your people who would shop full price to also have another touch point and get a good discount on something else. So there are benefits to shopping in a luxury outlet for a brand. Obviously, you want to avoid oversaturation because that is detrimental to the brand overall, brand perception and all of that. Yeah, also you do want to make sure that you just tote that fine line, which I thought was an interesting read. Let me know your thoughts on what I have talked about through this video, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.